Welcome, everybody. This is the Addams family parent meeting. I am so grateful to everybody who has joined us tonight. Um, Let me just start off the bat that I'm a volunteer, and I always like to tell my story to the new parents because they never really understand, like, why would you do this? Um, I was a Hollywood executive. Well, first of all, I was a theater kid when I was a young child. I love theater. I was in plays. I did local theater here. I grew up in Solana Beach. My mom is a former mayor of Solana Beach, and hopefully you'll still meet my mom. She's getting up there in years. Her birthday is actually February 15th, which will finish her shows just before her 88th birthday. So hopefully mom will still be with us and be at that show. But my mom was on the first city council of Solana Beach, and she taught me early on to kind of give back to my community. I didn't know exactly what that meant as I was growing up. I just thought it was annoying that my mom was the mayor and on the city council and like wouldn't let me do stuff, and made me do things like pick up trash, clean the city, go to every parade and every city sponsored event known to man. And every Saturday, my mom would sit at like a coffee shop, a local coffee shop, and hear about people's complaints. And she used to get stopped in the grocery store all the time. And it's funny because now I get stopped in the grocery store every time I go to the grocery store here locally. So it's kind of full circle for me. Um, I got into, so again, I was a theater kid. I worked in LA for 30 years. I had a huge career, and I realized that I worked too much and I never gave back. I didn't have time to get married and have kids. I woke up on my 40th birthday and went, what am I doing? This is madness. And so I kind of quit my high profile job. And I said, I'm just going to take some time off and start dating. And I met my husband about a year later, and we've been married now for 13 years. He had, at the time, an 8-year-old daughter, and she was in a cute production of Wizard of Oz. And I volunteered and helped that production and all the productions since then. This community theater decided to hire me, and I said, okay. And I was just a volunteer. Her director actually dropped dead of a heart attack, which I kind of understand because it's a very stressful job. And they asked me if I would take over. I said, you know what? Don't want to have my high profile career anymore. I'm sick of commuting to LA. Yes, I'm going to accept this. So it was a huge change with my husband and I to like kind of say, I'm going to make really no money in children's theater and kind of do all these things that I can do for my family and Bryn. So that's kind of my story. I left that, I kind of commuted for a few years. We were living in Orange County, and then I started down here. We were connected to a Boys and Girls Club. I moved to San Diego. I connected with a Boys and Girls Club. I worked at a Carmel Valley's youth arts program. And then I ran that program. And then after 2 years with them, they were kind of taking all of my profits, and I wasn't able to actually do the shows I wanted to do. So I left them and formed my production company at that time. I'd spent an entire year rehearsing in my backyard. There's still evidence of this. I have a grass cloth in my backyard, and we moved into our current space 6 years ago. We've been there 6.5 years. It was just a fraction. It was like this little shoebox in the front space. And it was only 600 square feet. And you can't believe the productions that we put on. We've always rented other spaces. Our space has always been a rehearsal space, but now we sometimes do our summer camp shows there, and we do smaller productions in our space, and I love it for that. I am celebrating 10 years of doing shows in Solana Beach, moving down here this in 2025. My first production was A Charlie Brown Christmas, and you'll see the program if you ever go to the bathroom. In our bathroom, you can look at all of our different programs. Charlie Brown Christmas, our first show there. It starred 4 kids. One was my daughter, one was my neighbor, one was my neighbor's friends, and one was some kid who just joined the Boys and Girls Club. So I'm excited for this year because I can't believe I'm still doing children's theater, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love what I do, and it's kind of evident when you see how much I do, and I don't get paid. I've put more money into this program than I care to admit to, and I probably will never tell you how much I've paid in. So what I kind of want to tell you is I raise cast fees on this show specifically, and I don't plan to kind of do that all the time. It's just I'm coming out of the pandemic. I feel like our industry in live entertainment took a huge hit, and everybody's raised rates, and so I'm like, I have no choice. My last show lost $6,000, so please hear that, which was Schoolhouse Rock and Descendants. Everyone's like, you were packed, you were selling out. Da-da. Yes, but these things cost money. And what you don't understand is how much things cost. And my board keeps going, Jojo, they don't understand how much you pay in rentals. My little space in Solana Beach is over $3,700 a month in rent. Okay. When I rent a stage, it's upwards from $7,000 to $10,000 each time. Actually, it's more than that sometimes. It just depends on how many days we're at. So $7,000 on the low end, up to about $15,000 on the high end. And that's just for a rental. That does not include equipment. Then I have to pay for equipment. Then I have to pay for professionals to run the equipment. Then I got to pay for costumes, rights to a show. For Addams Family, the rights to this show are upwards of $2,000. My t-shirts cost me roughly $1,500. This on January 1st, I have to pay insurance for an entire year. It's upwards of $6,000. So I have a lot of bills that come in. So when people go, oh my gosh, you must have made a ton on the bar, again, it's feast and famine. So when I say I'm in a negative, all of a sudden I have a bunch of money because you just all paid your fees, but it'll definitely dwindle by the time we move into the show. And then I sell tickets, and hopefully my ticket sales will offset this show and will be in the green. That's my goal. But I don't pull my own salary. So that's where sometimes people go, why are you always running out of money? I don't have a grant writer. I can't afford one. So sometimes some parents have kind of jumped into the fray and helped me write grants. I had a mom, but her daughter hasn't been in the last 2 shows, so I haven't had a grant writer. Most of her grant writing was done via AI, and a lot of parents are like, I want to learn how to grant write. Well, so do I, but I don't have the time. So hear that from me. It's not an easy thing, but apparently AI can kind of grant write for you. It's now finding what grants we can go after. Just so you know, we are a 501c3 and we can reach for more money. This year we got one grant for $3,000. Again, my rent is $3,700. So their grant to offer scholarships only can cover scholarships. It depends on what you write grants for. Sometimes people will just want to give it towards scholarships. We have multiple different types of scholarships. We can have art scholarships, we can have musical scholarships, we can have acting scholarships, we can have theater scholarships. So I can raise money on different levels, as well as general operational funds towards the arts. Those are the ones I want to go after, but they have long leeway times and you don't actually get the money for a long time. I try and do these things as much as I can. Just today, I actually made a breakthrough. If you work for a big company like Google, Apple, I think Qualcomm uses them too. Microsoft does. My husband used to work for Boeing. They used them too. But there's a company called Benevity, and I was having problems with their portal. They had a typo on their portal, but today I figured it out. And you can now donate through Benevity if that is something your company offers. If they offer matching programs, and so you pay all these fees for your kids to be in theater and say, my company will match. I will send them and say, hey, yes, they're a parent and they've paid all this money. Here is their receipt. And hopefully they'll match that and donate back to us. All that stuff is great. Just to kind of, I keep it only our board can only use that money where it is targeted to. And right now, all we are receiving is stuff from the cities and small other arts grants that we've received. I got a $5,000 grant from another group, but that was a general fund, which means I can use it towards anything. So, and anytime you donate to us, so we have a chair donation where if you donate $100, you get your name on a chair. That kind of comes into our program as well. We also I did a big Giving Tuesday bag that goes into the general fund as well. So it's not like this money goes into my pocket. It all goes back onto the stage where your kids are performing. I've always believed in making the best show possible, and the money will come. I'm a big dreamer. I would have loved this program when I was your kids' ages. So just so you know, it's like I want them to
Oh, have a good night. Thanks for your help.
as much as they possibly can. So I hire professionals to run our sound and lighting, and that is a big thing for me. Is that I want us to look good. We When the kids feel like they're on a huge Broadway stage, they get that spark and then they kind of want to continue in the arts. And that is the spark I'm trying to create as much as I possibly can. Um, we do try and keep our costs low. It's not like we're like, you know, overspending all the time. Natalie, who is a board member and does all of our costumes, I'm amazed at how much she doesn't spend. And it's all because of you parents kind of volunteering, and she finds the best bargains I've ever known. We do rent a lot of our stuff. So Da, 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 da. So with that, let me talk about our volunteer staff. None of us get paid. Natalie is our costumer and our gatherer of stuff. She cleans my garage. She's just amazing. I can't talk enough about Natalie. Her daughter is named Alexa. And newbie he's not on our board, but he's a volunteer, is John, who's on here today. He's going to be helping me build our set. And literally poor John, he was kind of like signed up for this by one of his daughter's friends, and she's like, he's really good at building stuff. Sherry, she's on here too, said he's really and I took John on Monday to our the warehouse where we rent a lot of our sets, and he was like a kid in a candy store, and he's like, I'm so excited to do this, and that's what I want to see. Our two young choreographers, Portia and Emmy, they're amazing, and they're young. I do pay them. I give them like peanuts to pay them. They only work a couple hours once a week, maybe once a month. Um, and then I am looking for a parent to kind of help me out with, if let's say you have a full-time job and you can't do stuff, but you can type like the Dickens, help me with a program. Just type the kids' bios. I'll get them all to write their little bio. I'll hand you a stack. You go home, you type it all up. Um, that's all I kind of need sometimes. Our professional staff include, we have a musical director. He lives in New York. His name is Michael Deshesky. Um, he teaches lessons to kids. I can only provide X amount of lessons based on what I get from our grants, which I don't have a ton of money. So he's expensive. A lot of parents complain to me about him. I do like him. A lot of people are kind of not as good as him, and I have seen the benefits. Another one I like is Debbie Nicastro, who is a subletter of ours. She is expensive. She wants kids to come on a regular basis. Recently, I told her, hey, look, if a parent can't afford lessons every week or every other week, are you cool with once a month? And she said, no, they have to come monthly. And I said, well, Michael records them so they can practice at home if that's all they can afford is once a month. And she wants them to come more frequently. And I get it. You want consistency. It's just like going to the gym. You don't expect to lose 40 pounds by summer if you go to the gym once a month. So I totally get them. It is a journey to be in that vocal realm. Um, we will pay for a couple of group lessons, and I do pay for some lessons for our leads. But if you parents can afford it, please invest in your kid when they have a lead. And if you can't, talk to me, because we really want them all to sound good and be good. So just know that off the bat. Our other professionals, Tony is our sound guy. He's a musician. I'm going to go see his show on January 18th. He's going to be playing downtown. He's a drummer and super fun. He's in a jazz fusion band. I'm hiring a new lighting guy named Mateo. I worked with him on our U2 show about 6 months ago, and he's really great. He comes from the company C's where we did our last show. And Anthony is our video tech who will be recording all of our shows. I'm also, we have a high school student who graduated. Now she's in college at UCSD named Ava, who's also going to be helping Mateo with lighting. The theater we rent is amazing, but they are super sticklers for being clean and tidy after every show. There is no food, drinking, or eating inside their theater except water. So they're super strict, and so we're super strict. So don't give your kids candy and things like that to sneak into the theater because it's super not cool with me. And we ask you parents to police the other people and say, JoJo can't rent here if you guys are going to eat stuff, because the only way we can rent there is because they actually see us and you all policing other parents. If your kid gets sick and they have the flu and they're coughing and they're snotty, but they're a lead and you know we're having a choreography day, I'd rather them stay home and not get us all sick. Okay? Hear that from me. Keep them home. Give them some tea. No, I record all of the choreography. They can pick it up later. It's fine. Snacks. Kids love snacks. I told my group tonight, I said, hey, if you want snacks to keep coming, tell your parents to go buy snacks. Our rule of thumb is please purchase at least 24 snacks for the kid, just one group of 24 once during the time. If I run low, I'll let y'all know and I'll shoot out. I'm like, hey, we're low on snacks. Can you guys bring some snacks? Because the kids all love the snack. So it's kind of a thing. They get one snack per each rehearsal. Lead roles in our basic philosophy. So actually this year we did pretty good. I only had one kid who cried. Everybody seems to be happy with their roles. The new kids kind of understand that I got to get to know them. It's not a big show where it's a large cast show, but there's only 8 Addams family and there's 3 Benekes and a couple of other characters, and then everybody comes ensemble. But the ensemble has lines and solos and all that stuff. I just haven't handed them out yet because they don't have scripts. So please tonight, it was so wonderful to watch how supportive they were. And I think Jess is on here. I think she was like blown away, like how everyone was clapping and like excited for everybody. It was awesome that they were like happy for each kid. And that is the kind of theater we would try and run. I'm going to tell you another thing. I had no money. I just told you I lost $6,000 on our last show. I spent $200 on these crumble cookie gift cards. And after the first show, Natalie's like, oh my God, they're so messy backstage, and JoJo, the trash is everywhere, and the kids are being impolite. And so Natalie was like spending an hour cleaning up after the kids. I said, okay, we're gonna stop that. I went to Costco, I got these crumble gift cards. I said, if you are a good kid, I will give you a better role and I will give you a crumble gift card. Well, gosh, don't you know it? The kids all of a sudden were clean and they really wanted the lead, and they did. So whoever got those crumble, I know who they are. And throughout the years, it's like we've kind of been trying to make the kids be more polite, take out the trash. And it's not them just kind of writing me a card and saying, JoJo, you're the best, we love you. It's really about your kids being nice to everybody else and helping us pick up, understand that this space is their space. We are a community theater. It is your space. So when the kids like spill a drink and walk away, we don't need it as parents picking up. Those kids should be picking up after themselves. And so that's kind of the philosophies we teach. And when I see that happen, I give them roles. So even if your kid goes, I don't know why JoJo gave that kid a role. She can't sing or talk. She's a terrible cold reader. Why? Guess what? She might be a really good kid and pick up the trash. So please understand that philosophy, because that's very important. Which also leads me to the next part of just being involved. I am a community leader. Not only run this, I'm the president of the Historical Society. We're going to be performing at a tree. We performed last Friday at our Historical Society event. I'm doing a tree lighting this Saturday with the kids. Try and get them out into the community as much as I can. Michael, our musical director, and I talk about it all the time. It's just a matter of time. But I would love, if you want to get more involved, know that my sister also is on the board at the CRC, which is the Community Resource Center, helping um, uh, homeless and Encinitas. We also have Jenna Delamino is a board member, and she runs the Free Farmers Market in Solana Beach on Saturdays. And she also runs Culture Brewery here in Solana Beach, and so I give back to culture when you can. If you have a teenager and they are at that age of like, don't want to do anything and they're lazy, they might want to come and just help us. We have a lot of projects and props, and so we do a lot of things, just painting and stuff like that. And I have a couple of my teenagers from past shows who help us out, which I love that too. Also note that we give service learning points, which is important for their college applications, and it is super important for me. I write letters for your kids, whether they're in a show or just stage crew and a cleanup crew, to write those letters for college apps. It is imperative to do that. I will tell my story is my daughter was on a water polo team at CCA for 4 years, and her stupid coach was like, made every excuse in the book not to write her a letter for a college. And it drove me bonkers. I said, I would never do that to any of my kids. So when your kids ask me to write them a letter for college, I stop whatever I'm doing and I write that letter and I send it off. So please note that, but they got to volunteer. They got to do some stuff and help us out. If your kid loses their scripts no, I got my script stolen. I'm waiting for new ones to arrive. But when your kid gets the script, no, they do not get two. They cost money. So please, I can send you a PDF. You can print it home. But please try not to lose their scripts and don't ask me for another one. They get one. After that, you have to download it. We're having, it's weird. I talked to Erica Carlin, is going to run our event. We're going to have a pre-show event called a Dead Man's Party, where the ancestor kids are going to serve them different treats and stuff like that. This is an upsell to our event and a volunteer opportunity. It's basically like a pre-show party where we're gonna have like mocktails and some cute little squiggly worms and dirt and some fun different little snacks and stuff like that. Plus, you get front row seating to the shows. So she's going to have a little meeting of that on Sunday at 11 a.m. So if you want to join the Dead Man Party crew, look up Erica. I will shoot out a memo about that after this meeting when I send you a video of this meeting. Costume crew Natalie, who is on this call, is going to explain a little bit about what she does and our Amazon wish list. Take it away, Natalie.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. So our costume job is a big one. This show is going to be so fun. We're super excited. We are going to be doing some costume rentals, but because of the size of our kiddos, we like to try to get everybody in stuff that fits as best as we can. And like you heard JoJo talking about our tight budget, I try to make our dollars go as far as possible. So I have already started working on an Amazon wish list. I will email that out to everybody, and you can choose things on there that are particular to your child or not. People like kind of do a mix of that. We typically share costumes if there's a concern and your child doesn't want to do that, or share wigs or things like that. You're welcome to contact me or buy specifically off that list for your child. We do have parents that sometimes do that as well. So a lot of it is on Amazon. Some other things that we do is, we do sew and create costumes that we have to purchase supplies for, like at Joanne or Michael's. And then the other place, unfortunately, I know fast fashion is a big no these days, but we do get our money goes so far at Shein, and we don't throw the clothes away afterwards. We reuse them as much as we can, but that also allows us to buy a variety of sizes so that your kids can wear things that fit them, which is awesome. And we like to try to do that. So my biggest asks are take a look at the Amazon wish list when that comes out. And then you can also Venmo JoJo donations that we use
Or
at
buy
the
us a
other,
or buy us a gift card. So
or
you
gift cards. Yes,
can
gift
either
cards
send
are,
Natalie or myself a gift card. I sent every Amazon gift card that comes through to us. I send it directly to Natalie, and she kind of puts it in her kitty, and she starts buying off our wish list, the things. So right now I know a lot of people are having lots of packages come through. Yeah, throw just a $25 gift card. It really does go a long way.
yeah, we it's amazing like how far we can make our money go. And I keep really good track of everything and return anything that we don't use so that, any funds go back to the gift cards and I can reuse them for other things. But um yeah, those are our biggest helps. And then as we get closer to showtime, there is a volunteer component that is really important. Like we have fittings that we do for the kids, and then our dress rehearsals, and then working backstage to help get the kids ready for the shows and change during the shows. So you'll see those come out closer towards showtime.
Yes.
But
So tonight, exactly. So leading into that, tonight you all got, or today you got our our tech memo. And our tech memo is basically when everything happens. Tech means we move from our studio to our venue, and Natalie needs help at dress rehearsals, tech rehearsals, organizing everything. She'll need a little help beforehand, just to kind of organize everything. But it's also helping us buy pizzas. We'll ask you to buy pizzas. We'll ask you to buy Grubhub or DoorDash gift cards. Because guess what? JoJo gets sick of pizza after 10 days of eating pizza at the same time. Um, so we have a couple of these different bags. It all goes into our committee. Anytime I have extra DoorDash or gift cards, I use it towards buying pizza and whatnots during our karaoke nights and whatnot. I never spend it towards me. It all goes back to the kids 100% of the time. So, um, but that kind of comes down later. But please look at that schedule I sent out today. If you have a problem, let me know sooner rather than later. If you come a week before and be like, JoJo, she made the playoffs and we had no idea, blah, blah, blah. Well, if the playoffs were going to happen, you kind of probably know that this is when the playoffs are going to happen. Just give me a heads up. Tonight, Mia's mom came up to me and she's like, JoJo, it's on one of her days. I said, I cleared her. I put a little parenthesis that said it's okay for her to miss tech. Why? She's in 2 casts. So I know she's going to tech with another cast, and her kid has been in a lot of shows. Tech and dress rehearsals are mandatory because it is the first time your kids actually step on the stage and know where the lighting is. Dress rehearsals are the first times they do their show in costume using a microphone with the lights, and they go full out. And then they have shows. They only get 2 shows for the show, and it is a weird schedule because it's all during the week and it's based on your kids' availability. So if you're going to say, "Hey, Georgia, why is there no shows on Saturday and Sunday, the 15th and the 16th?" Everybody wanted to go out of town because it's a holiday weekend, which is fine. It I crammed everything early so we can all go on those lovely vacations, and I can allow you guys to be flexible. I did get an email today from a parent saying, "Hey, it's going to be a little late for some of our little kiddos." Totally agree. Have them take a nap when they come home from school. Um, the show is a 1 hour show, and I throw in an intermission. I will make our intermissions tight. I'm going to ask everybody if you're going to purchase a telegram or something like that, buy it ahead of time. There's no food or anything allowed inside the theater, so literally it's based on how fast we can go to the bathroom. So if you guys can hold it, let's make it our intermissions tight and get in and out for each show, because I'm with you. I think kids' bedtime is 9:30 latest. So I want you guys home. Again, the shows are like 4:30 and 7. So you should be done by 8:30. So I thought that that was fine. But it's got to be tight. I promise not to give long speeches. Natalie, have anything else you want to add? No? Okay. Um,
one thing, Jojo, sorry, we are going to need some significant makeup help for the show. So if you enjoy that, we have a cool roll of the dead ancestors that we really want to make look amazing. So
yes.
there will be signups not only to help backstage for costumes, but also for makeup.
Yes, and I'm trying, Natalie knows this, we talked about it the other day. I'm trying to get back one of our former students who now works at Sephora, and he lives in New York, to come out and give a makeup tutorial. And hopefully we can do that sometime in January, which would be really fun. It might be an online thing where he gives us all instruction of how to make all these different things and give us a little shopping list so we can practice at home. But if that's your jam, awesome, let's do it. And then sign up for that. If your kid comes home and is like, I'm so bummed I didn't get a lead, just have them stick with us. Trust me, they're gonna have fun. It's a terrible habit to quit when your kid doesn't like their role. I get it all the time, and that's why I don't have a refund policy if they drop because they didn't like what they got. So far, knock on wood, I haven't had anybody who've said that, but that's just the policy we keep, and it's just they got to stick with me. Again, sometimes I give everybody a chance, and we all are happy when we get our lead roles. I believe most of you have signed our audition forms and our medical release forms. If you haven't or you're confused, ask me, I'll check. But I think we're good, and I'm at 35 minutes, and we started about 3 minutes late. So I will stay on if you have any questions. If you don't, feel free to log off. You can email me any questions about the tech schedule and all that stuff. I gotta give a shout out to Jessica, who came tonight to help me with dancing, and her daughter Frankie. That was awesome. You guys are a new fave. And thank you, Natalie. Another one I want to shout out is Scott, our art teacher. If you drop off your kids early, sometimes Scott's teaching art class, and today Alana was a half an hour early and she did a painting. So please also note our other classes. We have acting classes and art classes, and they're awesome. And Scott's running a couple of camps over the holidays. So ask me any questions you need. If you don't have a question, you can log off. And thank you.
One quick question.
Yeah.
So for the Dead Man's Party, is that kind of going to be along the lines of like when we did the Beauty and the Beast like tea party type of setup?
100%. It's the one difference is we don't know if it's gonna rain. It's gonna be cold. So we were talking about like making hot cocoa and things like that, and our rain coverage today. But that's gonna happen. Erica's gonna have that party meeting at 11 o'clock on Sunday. If you and Susie want to go, because you can kind of speak from experience.
Yeah, this we can swap notes. And,
Yes,
yeah,
100%. I told her like I got the tea kettles and all that stuff. So yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'll definitely join in on that.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Patrick.
No problem.
I had a quick question. Why does it work if you volunteer and you're working backstage? Like, when can you see the show? Like, can you sneak out? Do you watch from the sides? Sit
Great
for some?
question. Usually we tell you don't work your kids' show. Work another
Okay,
kid's
got
show.
it.
So like
Okay.
work the show before your kids, and then like you sit and watch your kid. Of course,
Got
we
it.
want you to, and then your kid can kind of like watch the other cast and get some tips and stuff like that. We just kind of become one big family. So we
Got
don't
it.
ever want you to really volunteer for your kid's show. It's volunteer for somebody else's kid. And then those parents should also do the same thing.
Got it. Okay.
Anybody else? Yes, no, maybe.
I want to give a kudos to you because today when you gave out all those roles and those kids all cheered each other on, it was like so touching. I just loved it. All
Yeah,
of
I
them.
could tell. You were like, oh my gosh, they're so supportive. And
I loved that. And it was just like they were all cheering for each other and every single one of them was like, yes. So cute.
yeah, they were all excited. And even the ones that got the ancestors were like, okay, that's fine. I'm
Let's
good.
do a thing. Yeah, it's
It was
great.
nice. Thank you. Okay, well, if I have no more questions, I will log off. You guys are free to go. But I'm a freeze a bird. Please email me if you have a question.
Bye, JoJo.
Thanks, Jojo. Good night.
Thanks, Jojo.
Thank you.